I'm not going to get into any opinions, any debates. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. When I watch wrestling, I'd rather keep my politics out of it. So therefore, I'm just going to be that guy to say, you will not hear me complaining about WWE Crown Jewel.
No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just going to keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Wrealm presents Break It Down with Bryan H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Break It Down with Bryan H. Got a good show packed and set ready for you. Also coming up at the end of the show, I'm going to run a clip that's from this week's Wrestling for the Culture. Did something different than normally, and that was I had an interview with Dork Sam. Dork is a writer for Wrestling Inc. and also he contributed an article to the Undefeated, ESPN's Undefeated, that focus on culture and sports. So he wrote an article on the EST of NXT, Bianca Belair. So I can't wait for you guys to check out that full interview. I'm going to give you a little bit of it at the end of the show. And then I'm urging you to make sure you check it out after you check this out, because I'm going to actually release both of them at the same time. So if you already watched the show, if you already listened to it, thank you. But if not, make sure you check out that interview as well. So let's get right into today's show. You know what? I'm going right into the top rope.
Going up to the top rope.
It's time for this week's Top Rope segment of the week.
All right, so this week's top rope, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. What a match. So if you've been following, like I said, I'm not going to get into whether or not it's right or wrong per se, but if you've been following, you know that Daniel Bryan is not going to WWE Crown Jewel. So what WWE does, obviously they know, we all read the internet, they still gave us the match. So I was very happy. Instead of saying, you know what, fine, we're going to pull off this injury angle, or we're going to say that he has other obligations, they just said, no, we'll just give you the match and kind of go about it quietly. And what a match they put on. Shout out to my buddy, David Shield. And if I pronounce your name wrong, I highly apologize. It just reminded me that I never really asked you how to pronounce your name. And even though I've definitely watched some of your clips, I drew a blank, so if I pronounce it wrong. But David was there this week, so I'm very, I can't wait to talk to him to get his firsthand perspective. And, maybe I'll get him on Break It Down with Bryan H. He's a very busy man. He's a sports journalist himself, so but I'll see if I can get him on. But he was there, so what a treat he got. Obviously, one of the Match of the Year candidates. I can't wait to watch this again. And it was one of those things, we all knew who was going to win, but even if we didn't, it was still a great match. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, putting on an incredible match. Unfortunately, we couldn't get this at Crown Jewel. You remember what I said? I kind of didn't want them to make this match there at the Super Show. I was hoping that The Miz kind of won, so it would have been Miz, and then Daniel Bryan would have been in the tournament. But nonetheless, hopefully, I'll just say this. I hope he doesn't get punished. I'll use air quotes, meaning he won't have another title shot or title reign in the near future. But after the match, they shook hands, respect. Daniel Bryan tapping out, and I know a lot of people's not going to like that, but one thing I noticed is Daniel Bryan lost cleanly to Samoa Joe. He lost clean to Rusev. I believe he lost clean to Samoa Joe. But yeah, he lost clean to Rusev, and this time losing clean to AJ Styles. Since his return, he's, these losses to me don't hurt him because he's still over. He's still going to be my favorite wrestler. However, losing these matches shows us, like, look, I'm confident in my ability. I'll go up there, I'll put this guy over. So what? But, after the match, he shook hands with AJ Styles only for Samoa Joe to arrive and attack. Guess what? He's back. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. That is the match for the WWE Championship we're now getting at Crown Jewel. And I tell you this, I would not be surprised if Joe finally does it. Yes, I do think AJ Styles is on a path to breaking CM Punk's modern-day WWE Championship record, since people like to complain about, well, it wasn't the title, Brock Lesnar's doesn't count. So I think he could be on his way. But I think he got to go right before WrestleMania to do so. But if not, he's had the title over a year. I wouldn't be surprised for him to drop it to Samoa Joe. Speaking of championships, Universal Championship on the line coming up at Crown Jewel, and that is Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. Brock Lesnar was on Monday Night Raw this week, and, you know, Braun Strowman kept beating up Baron Corbin, and just as he was finished, Brock Lesnar took the time and put Braun Strowman in the F5. Does that tell me that Braun Strowman will walk out of Crown Jewel as the new WWE champion? Only time will tell. I can't wait. No, it's 12 o'clock. I always thought it was 3 o'clock. I don't know why. But I saw that it's 12 o'clock Eastern time, noon. So I won't be able to watch it fully live. But, I'm going to New York for my work, which I'm excited about. But I do believe I may be able to catch this on the train ride back to Baltimore. And then another in the tournament, we got Bobby Lashley replacing John Cena. Bobby Lashley, he went out there and he's earned the respect of the constable and acting general manager, Baron Corbin. And because of that, Baron Corbin rewarded him. Even though he lost to Finn Balor, he was rewarded with this spot in the tournament. So I think this is cool. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. But I'm going to go ahead and take my first break. If you may know, I was recently on the Gully Blanchard podcast. So here's the host of it. So be right back.
What's going on, guys and girls? You are checking out the Wrestling Realm podcast with my main man, Bryan Waters. My name is Ryan Anderson, host of the Gully Blanchard podcast. And anytime I need to get caught up on what's going on in the world of pro wrestling, I always check out the Wrestling Realm with Bryan Waters. Check out the show, guys.
And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you check out the Gully Blanchard podcast each and every week. I got a chance to talk wrestling, got a chance to talk about, have a good conversation about the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart. Today I was on Twitter and I saw a photo. And it said, without thinking too hard, what's the first thing you think of? And it was a picture of the Winged Eagle Championship. For me, the first person I think of is Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah, Hogan had the title. But I really don't, which might sound crazy, I don't think of Hogan when I think of that title, even though throughout my childhood, that's the title he wore. I just think because the way Bret Hart carried it and the way he kissed the title, that's what always made me think of the Winged Eagle. And when I met him and he signed my belt, shout out to the one and only Dr. D, who made that happen. But when he signed my title, he said, "Oh, this is the Bret Hart belt, right?" And I said, "Absolutely." So moving on, Monday Night Raw, Seth freaking Rollins, Monday Night Rollins. He used to be the architect, whatever you want to call him. So last week we talked about, as we offered, we letting, Roman Reigns, we're still with you. We're not going to stop talking and stop offering our prayers up for you. But Rollins went out there this past Monday and he told people, he told Dean Ambrose, he started saying maybe he regretted, maybe Ambrose never forgave him and he could have started this. And he just cut this emotional, passionate promo. And, the real Dwayne Allen, who's a huge Seth Rollins fan, if you do not know, he called it from the beginning. I really wish we had that on audio. But he called that Rollins would be the first, breakout star from the Shield. But nonetheless, he told me about this promo. So I said, all right, cool, I'm going to check it out. And I have to tell you, man, when I saw it for myself, wow. That's all I can say. It's wow. Seth Rollins, he told Dean Ambrose, I'm going to make your life a living hell. You don't have the guts to come to me man to man and tell me what you did or why you did it. And just to see the passion, it's that's the Seth Rollins that if you go to thebrianhwaters.com, you will see an article. Or actually, it's just brianhwaters.com. You will see an article I wrote. And it's where I said Seth Rollins will be the next megastar. And then I was feeling disappointed the past couple of years. But if I'm getting this Rollins, what I saw just a few minutes ago, because I didn't see the promo as it aired. But if I'm getting this Rollins, then I'm fine. That's the guy I want to see. But Only time will tell. So, the Brothers of Destruction are taking on D-Generation X. So I hope this doesn't main event the show. I mean, I just do, I just really hope it don't main event the show. But only time will tell. But we saw them come out there. We saw Kane and Undertaker do their stick, which led to Triple H coming out, and Triple H so extra. If you watch the clip of him doing his click point to the ring, I don't know what they call it, but to the back, and he said, "Here comes Shawn Michaels." You all knew, everybody in the arena, everybody knew Shawn Michaels was not coming through there because Triple H never introduces him that way. And then Shawn Michaels comes in there, hits Undertaker with some chin music, leave him laid out, and then there's two guys look like old guys trying to be young, hitting a crotch chop. This is right there says to me that Undertaker and Kane are going to win this match, and then there'll be a blow off somewhere down the line. But nonetheless, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for nostalgic purposes, especially some fresh. We never got this match before. So, let's move on to Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon has threatened The Miz, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Jeff Hardy. He let them know, if you guys do not win the best in the world, whoever loses in the finals will be fired. So I'm like, wow, so it's the best to lose in the finals? Or, just best to lose in the first round, so at least well, guess what? At least I won't get fired. It's definitely, the pressure's cooking. The closer you get there, the pressure will be cooking. I don't know who's going to win this one. I'm rooting for Kurt Angle, though. I really think it's really cool to see him back in this. I really love the training videos they're doing with him. So I'm really rooting for Kurt Angle. I would love to see Kurt Angle be declared as the best in the world. And, I was talking to my brother, Glenn Thomas, which you can check out our Evolution post show. It's on his network, Fox Sports 1340. What will be Kurt Angle's legacy? We was talking about Gail Kim. That's how the conversation started. And, we said that Gail Kim's legacy is going to be Impact Wrestling or TNA. But what's Kurt Angle's legacy? Is it, let's be real, is it the WWE, or could you make an argument being TNA? Obviously, his best matches was in TNA. And he'll tell you that because he was still learning when he was in the WWE. But what is his complete legacy? For me, it's going to be WWE. Why? Because I'm a WWE guy. I'm not afraid to say it. But I really want to know, what do you guys think? So that's my pick. That's who I want to see win. So before we get into, start to wrap things up and, to give you a little bit of an interview, Becky Lynch will take on Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. This is a match I really want to see. I just think that, with Becky Lynch, especially with her armbar, to see if she can get that on Ronda and see, because I don't recall seeing Ronda putting a really good submission move. And maybe she has, but I really want to see what happens because, there's not going to be any backdowns, not going to be any acts of cowardice with Becky Lynch. I just don't see it. We saw that with Alexa Bliss, but I just can't see it with Becky. We saw it with Alexa Bliss. I just can't see it with with Becky Lynch, though. So that's certainly going to be interesting. And then last, before I close out, one thing I enjoyed was on Monday Night Raw, the 5-on-5 match between the women. Was it 5-on-5, 4-on-4? Yeah, it was Alicia Fox, Mickie James, and the Riot Squad taking on Natalya, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Trish and Lita. Now, listen, folks, I'm ready for a Trish Stratus run. I've said this over and over again. I'm ready for another Trish Stratus run. To see what this woman has become, to me, she's the greatest WWE superstar, full package, women's superstar. She came in to the business because of her looks. She was a bodybuilder, a fitness model. Said, oh, she looks good, let's put her in wrestling. That's why they brought her in there. She later became a wrestler. I have Stratisfaction DVD. And as I was sitting there, and I was like, wow, Trisha's really like come a long way for real. And she even talked about the reason why she went from the shorts to the pants. She didn't want everybody looking at her butt. It was about, you need to start paying attention to my wrestling. Now, of course, the teenager in me was like, man, no one, but nonetheless, I respect it. I understand it. But I would love to see a match between her and Sasha Banks. Would love to see a match between her and Bayley. There's a lot of people I really want to see matches. I was talking with this off record with Corey and Glenn on Sunday after Evolution. We was talking about that, I would love to see her and Mandy Rose, but I'm not sure if Mandy Rose will be ready. And I'm going to say, and that's me saying that after listening to what Corey was saying, because he had brought that up. And he's like, man, Trish probably won't be around that long by the time Mandy Rose gets ready. And it's so weird to say be ready for a Trish Stratus. We're not talking Jazz. We're not talking Ivory. We're talking Trish Stratus. Here's a woman who was once a fitness model, now a Hall of Famer. So I just think that's amazing, folks. But I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and close this up. But before I go, here's just a tidbit of the interview with Dork Sam. Now I gotta ask you about the shifting rib syndrome that she has. And obviously, I know like you're not the medical expert, but if I could ask, what did you learn about that, and how? If there's anything that you could share that she says how it. I know she says sometimes she knows like when it's coming, she can anticipate when I read the piece. But do you think this would be something that would hinder her down the line?
She told me that it started from overtraining, and they said it was untreatable. It was there's no surgery, there's no rehab, there's no remedy, there's nothing she could do. So basically, two of her ribs would like do somersaults, like they would flip and detach from her sternum and her back, and they were it was causing her great pain. Being a powerlifter, a CrossFit competitor, she wasn't able to do that. She said that being a wrestler, she's figured out some stuff to stay away from, stuff not to do, and ways to avoid having that happen to her. But she said that in the event that it does happen, like she's able to pop it back in. She's able to reattach her rib, basically.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it. Make sure you check out that full interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're following the Wrestling Realm at Wrestling Realm, and make sure you're following me at Bryan H. Waters. And if you have not done so, please vote for the Wrestling Realm podcast of the year, best duo podcast, and vote for this show, the one you're listening to, for the best solo podcast of the year. And for everybody who's voted, I really appreciate it. So until the next time, folks, you know who I am, Bryan H. Waters. So long, everybody.